Hi everyone, welcome to Conscious Conversations. I'm your host, Katie Augustyn. So I'm the founder of the Transformation Center, which is based in Westport, Connecticut. And at the center, really in addition to the shamanic healing sessions and the transformation coaching sessions that I do with individuals, we also host a variety of classes and workshops and trainings. We have sound baths in the backyard when the weather's nice. And some of these are on Zoom and some are in person. So there's a lot to choose from. And we're going to put up the contact info for the Transformation Center. And you're welcome to visit our website because all of the information is up there. There's a calendar of events. You can register right there on the website. You can contact me and set up a session. I also offer a half-hour complimentary consultation that we can do over the phone. So I'd love to hear from you. Please get in touch. So, I started the Conscious Conversations show because I love talking to people and finding out what they're up to. And everyone I meet has so much to offer for you. So that's why I want to share them with you. I'm so excited. Today, my guest is Sharon Kolenda.
Hi.
Welcome. Hey.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you could make it too. So you know what? I'm going to read a little bit about you before we get started so our audience can get to know you just a little bit first, and then we'll find out more when we start talking. Okay, so Sharon is a leading health expert, a certified health coach, a lifestyle strategist, an energy healer, an international speaker. And we're going to put her contact information up as well. And after spending 2 decades as an engineer for elite corporations, Sharon made a bold transition into the world of wellness. And that's why she's here today. Because she now uses her extensive talents to help women redefine their approach to health and create a new vision of wellness. And she blends her expertise in holistic practices with the precision and insight from her corporate background. That sounds like a perfect combination to me.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I think it is. It was been a journey.
Yeah. And we're going to hear a little bit more about that. But let me just finish up by saying Sharon is passionate about empowering women to break free from outdated beliefs and embrace vibrant, purpose-filled living. And that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Is that like one of your taglines or something? Or?
Yes, it actually is.
Yeah.
I think it really just says a little bit more about what my mission is in life.
Yeah, that's right, because it does become a mission, doesn't it?
It does.
I can so relate to that. But I'm curious to get started, like, how does one transition, or what was the catalyst going from that corporate career to this wellness career?
Well, it was interesting, you grow up in life and you're told what it means to be successful. So I took the traditional path of going into the corporate realm. And what I noticed is you're working with these top talents, you learn these great skills. And it was my position as an engineer to look and work with these talents to raise their potential and to shift corporations into like a future vision of themselves.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
And what I noticed is that I could get people to be really precise and skilled and doing their best work. But what they were doing is they were always introducing some level of chaos that they would work around. So they would break a pencil and it would be a natural thing that they would just go get up, sharpen a pencil, and reintroduce that bit of chaos, and it became part of their process. So I kind of learned that it was crazy that here's these top performers and they're not doing things the best way possible. So with a fresh perspective, we could always elevate it.
Huh.
But then all their effort and energy was in creating wealth for other people.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yes.
they were really missing that piece. And I'm like, okay, you're really good at what you do, but you're not building a life. You don't have that quality of life. There is not a balance. People were burning out, exhausted, and that whole piece kind of seemed to be missing. And they were checking the boxes off to say, okay, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to make lots of money, I'm going to do all these things, but they were just really using themselves up before their time, and I just didn't think that was the best use of their time.
So it just didn't feel good that you were helping people to achieve, but not to take care of themselves? Is that?
Yeah, and it's funny that they would fall into these patterns that they didn't even know were not in their best interests. One time, somebody had a child that was sick, and he went trying to reach his wife to pick up the kids. They both had the same position, and just to get out of their own way, I was like, well, why don't you go pick them up? He was like shocked, like, wow.
Never
I
occurred,
can do that.
occurred to
Never
him.
occurred to him. But when he did it, it became part of his life. He's like, you know how happy I am to spend time with the kids and not feel like I'm trying to fit them in at a time that isn't filled with work. So.
Wow. Yeah, because I think that generally people aren't trained to have that flexibility necessarily. I don't know. I mean, every corporation is different, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I work with some great ones, so they're all about health and wellness and well-being, but it's all those ticking of the boxes, and you just keep up-leveling and up-leveling and up-leveling, and then it just becomes all too much.
Right.
Create.
And then for what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what is that life that you're creating? And that's where it always kind of pulls me back to say, I don't want to work to retirement. I want to live my life the best I can right now.
Yeah.
So there is no finality. It's just an extension.
Right, and really love what you do.
Yeah.
And I think that you're clearly passionate about your new mission, if you will. And I think that's what fuels the whole genesis of what's going on. It's like if you're passionate about it, then you're good at it. I think.
Yes.
Is that how
absolutely.
you see it as well?
Yeah, and so that quality of life piece was so important to me, and that's why I became a health coach, and that completely opened my eyes and changed the trajectory of my life and my life path.
Yeah, so you got interested in just health and wellness from that perspective. But it seems like, though, working in a corporation like that for so many years, that you also get to see a lot of what's going on, like the whole picture, the big picture. Does that resonate?
Absolutely. Yeah, it is more about looking at the big picture and also seeing. It's interesting. I worked for GE, and they're a conglomerate, and one of their perspectives on the way they do business is some businesses fail at the moment or may not be doing as well, and some places really thrive. But it's really the joining of all those pieces together that keeps a corporation going and in being successful over time. And that same mindset is true with life. It's some things may take more of your attention today and less attention tomorrow, but it's not that it's not as important. They all work together.
Yeah, they each have their turn in the
and they all have their place, you know.
Yeah.
It's not that everything. I talk a lot about balance, and balance is more not having equal parts or like everything has equal weights. Sometimes we'll put more attention on one thing, but always keep our eye on the others to see how they affect one another.
Oh, that's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, because everything can't be the same.
Exactly.
In your life. So,
there's different stages, different stages and different ways they flow together.
Yeah. So do you have one thing that as a health coach you find is the most important, or?
Yeah, so
work?
With a health coach, what it is I actually went and became certified at Integrative Nutrition, which is the largest nutrition school in New York.
Integrative nutrition?
Integrative nutrition. Okay. And that really changed how I looked at health and wellness, because it's more of not going to a school. It was more of it's more of a community. So people go there to heal themselves, and then they take and work with masters like Deepak Chopra, and sat down with Dr. Andrew Wiles, who would teach you how to do breathing techniques. So all these people, these world leaders, are actually teaching you and opening your eyes to what are possibilities. So with health coaching, it's really important that all aspects of life are important. So it goes not just about weight or about a diagnosis or about age. It's about seeing that all your pieces of your life work and fit for you. Some of the things I never liked is that people would have a solution or look at a number and be like, okay, this is what we're going to do. Follow these routines. And it's like, well, that doesn't fit my lifestyle. I was, like I said, a corporate engineer. I traveled for a living, and they're like, no, but you have to go to the gym every day and you have to show up at this class. And I'm like, it doesn't work.
Like a one size fits all that doesn't.
One size fits all. So this is all about uniqueness and building in flexibility to continue a journey.
Okay, so that's what a health coach does, right? Is work with you as an individual to see what your needs are.
Absolutely. So it's more about being reattaching to who you are as a person. And that's why I say purpose-filled, because it's how do you want to live your life? The way you live your life and the way I live my life are completely different. Sure. And the way I live my life at 20 is completely different than I live my life today. But it all works. And to make sure that we can look at keeping those things moving us forward and supporting us in those transitions and at those points in time are really, really important.
Yeah. So it's
and not extracting ourselves to do what's expected to be healthy, but actually knowing our body and our mind and why we're here in the world, and putting that as center to why we're doing the things we do.
Right. So that being said, do you think there's one like overarching principle that kind of guides you in your work for people?
Well, that's why I have my guide that you showed at the beginning. I have 7 pillars that I go and we review all of those things. And it's more about mindfulness, seeing where you are, what has worked for you. So I don't want you to make you the best chef imaginable if you don't really care about cooking. But you also need to know how to eat mindfully, how to de-stress, how to make sure you're fueling your body properly, and just doing the things that help you move forward. So the overarching is about looking at these 6 components and making sure that you're feeding them and fueling them the best way possible, so that you're happy and you're healthy and more energized and just joyful.
Yeah.
You know?
No, because that's the goal.
Yeah,
Obviously, that makes sense. So there are some things that definitely can work for everyone.
And that's the beauty of it, is that it does work for everyone, because it's not looking at a problem, it's finding solutions and creating that empowerment for people to say, you know, don't be a little bit more discerning, or see if something fits or how it feels for my body. If I want to go, I won't go to a boot camp, because to me that's not where my focus is. Some people feel really good by going to a boot camp. But
what's a boot camp?
Like a boot camp, like an exercise boot camp. Like, I'm going to go immerse myself for 6 weeks and go full steam ahead and like a military style routine. That doesn't make me feel good. But for other people, it's the absolute perfect thing.
So it's like let me just try to understand this. So the overarching goals can be similar, but how people get there differs based on lots of different things about them.
Exactly. So it's more about creating, like I said, attuning yourself to what your body needs. So getting mindful eating practices so that what you're fueling your body with actually keeps you more energized. Keeping an active lifestyle is more about not necessarily going to a gym, but making sure that it integrates into your life naturally. One of the things I don't like is that people will go, well, I can't meet you right now because I'm going to go to the gym. And I'm like, okay, but we're going to go out, have a beautiful day. We're going to go for a hike. We're going to get all this activity, maybe horseback riding or whatever. You're missing out on life because you're too busy doing the things that you're supposed to do. So kind of looking more at your life to say, am I doing this because someone told me I had to, in that these are good healthy habits, or is it something that that I can be doing better? And
Okay.
also
Yeah.
looking at where we choose to spend our times. What actions do we take? Are we doing it because we have to? Or on different occasions, there's experts that you look to and they give you advice, but they may not give you the best advice.
Well, necessarily for you.
For
Because,
you.
yeah, what I was thinking while you were saying that is it's something that, to look for that actually feeds your soul.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what ultimately, if you're going to make a change, I think that's important.
Exactly, exactly. So like I said, it's not about checking boxes in life. It's about feeding your soul and why are you here on this earth. It's not to try to maintain health. It's to have your health fuel your life purpose.
Yes, so that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Do you help people discover their life's purpose?
Well, as part of it, it really is because when we align all these things and find some synergy, one of the first things we start a program with and is that we'll look at what your vision for life is. Are you someone that likes to stay home? Is it someone you want to travel? Is family important? And what is that you're good at? So one of the things I said to you is, I don't want you to make you a chef if you hate cooking. I mean, that's okay, it should be really good to eat this way. No, like that would be my nightmare. And so we do look at discovering what your life purpose is, and that's the key that is going to drive you forward to say, okay, if I want to be an artist, does this align with being an artist? Well, I'm going to go and have to go through and take this class, or I have to go to these 6 doctors on this day. Why? You're okay, everything's fine, and let's make sure that that's your center for life and making choices.
I got you. So you just help people have more discernment over what really works for them, what's helpful for them.
And exploring new options too, because there are so many choices out there, as you know, like you said, sound baths, and and by being part of a community like the school that I had gone to, they've applied those techniques to create a wave in the way healthcare's developed. So it's interesting. They've done camps and things of that nature. So I take a lot of those tools to go through and say, okay, so what is important? What is your life mission? What are your relationships like? Where do you want to create this new next step? One of the biggest things, especially with women, is that they get stuck in this routine of taking care of others, and it's like, stop. Let's do a reset. Let's figure out what is important to you. What do you want? Not what are you expected to do, but what do you want to do? How do you become that role model? And what is it that, one of the most beautiful things I find with Japanese culture is when you turn 55, that everything shuts down and the family takes care of you, and you explore how to create a legend. So something to live beyond your current life. And I'm like, that would be really nice to do like every 10 years instead of a number, to say, what was my purpose in this moment? What did I learn? What was my mission in life? And what lives beyond my physical days on earth?
Just like do little periodic reassessments.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think most people really, in this country at least, don't really think that way.
Yeah. And they think of like endings, like you have to end something to start something else. So I do a lot of envisioning work and meditation, and we talk about, kind of removing some of those barriers on what is possible in life. What is it if you had all this free time and you weren't always working at like being scared that you're missing something. And that's why we say beyond age and beyond a diagnosis, it's like, what kind of life are you trying to build for yourself? What would you like to end the world or end this chapter, 10 years, 5 years, or life, to say, this is who I am. This is who I've influenced. This is who I am in life. That's what we try to elevate and make sure that your body's supporting you and your mind is supporting you and you're not stressed and you have that vibrancy and that life within you to keep exploring and being who you truly are, as we were saying originally, not who we're expected to be or what we're expected to do, but truly who we are and how our uniqueness plays forward in that.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, I think.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So it sounds like you're really a holistic health coach in that regard, because it's everything, like you said, the body, mind, spirit.
Yeah.
It all fits together. So do you think that, why would somebody work with you as opposed to a different type of health coach, do you think?
So the difference that I have is that I don't prescribe to one modality. It's about being if you were to take part of my program, it's very personalized to you and it's very individualized, and you learn to integrate new techniques and into your life. And your experience is going to be very different than person B, person C. But the beauty of it is it evolves as you evolve. So when we're talking about these concepts, it's really about finding that sweet spot in your life. Like, what makes me feel good? What makes me get up? What makes me feel healthy? Because over 80% of disease can be corrected with lifestyle changes. So we need to learn to live life. So keeping that as our focus and these tools and techniques that we go through. And then I coach people to say, okay, what challenges are you having? What's going on here? How do we clear some of those things, Because people think that the more they know, that they'll accumulate and the better it is, but they end up doing too much stuff. So it's so when you would work with me, we would talk about that, what is your life? We're going to build your lifestyle in the way you want it to be and give you the surety and the clarity to make the right choices and options for you. So we'll look at things like labels on food, or labels that you've created for yourself, and kind of dissolve those and evolve those. So
yeah, or like what I call limiting beliefs.
Limiting beliefs. Everyone says, limiting beliefs, exactly. But it's
very similar.
Even when we clear one, you can always go deeper.
Yeah, there's
deeper
layers.
And deeper. Yeah,
absolutely.
I was listening to somebody recently, and they were talking about the unraveling.
Yes.
And I'm like, people talk about like onions, about peeling layers off, but the unraveling kind of sounded resonated a little bit more with me, because it's like we create all these things that we've built onto our life, but sometimes letting go will allow us, kind of like a butterfly, to reinvent ourselves or to come back better than we were before. So that's what I try to infuse with people, is like, here's these other opportunities, here's that bar that you set for yourself. Let's challenge those. Is it right for you? And are they aligned or synchronized in your life, so that
I love
you are feeling great?
That's basically that's it in a nutshell, because I think the work I do is very similar.
Yes.
The nutrition part is not, that piece is not part of it, but everything else that we're talking about, it's like helping people rediscover who they truly are.
Yeah.
It's like we forgot.
That's it. Like I said, we're too busy being busy.
Yes.
That our actions aren't supporting who we truly are, and I think it's really sad. And people, especially women, like they've over time. I love to work with women because they kind of put their lives on hold, or say, well, after, or they're not in the forefront of designing their life. They're like, well, if everybody else is happy, then I'll. And it's like,
that's so true.
It's so hard. I love to say, no, listen, you should be the role model, because every generation going forward should be improving life. So if you raise the bar, then the next generation is going to be better. So
about being happy yourself.
Being happy,
raise that bar.
Inspiring the next generation, not enabling them to do less.
And I have a feeling that this next generation is going to be much more self-aware than we are right now, because I think they kind of get it, that we messed up a lot in this world. We've created issues that are going to be tough for them to solve, but I think they see it as, they are like going to be the help. You know, they're not going to make it worse. I think they're going to step up and do it in a way that's authentic for them. That's my feeling.
Yeah.
I hope that's true.
I hope it's true too.
Yeah.
I know, and they're so fast at going through data, but to make sure that they connect with their impact and their influence on how your presence and what you're putting out in the world is going to influence everybody around you.
It's going to make a difference.
That makes a huge difference. Instead of before, it was the family dynamic that you would take that and together you'd kind of mash them all together and hopefully everything worked. But now it's becoming more open and more that wave on how we impact one another and how important it is to be kind and to be, you know, whole and to be happy and healthy.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true. And with that, then we influence the world.
Exactly.
Well, we're going to have to wrap up, Sharon, but thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thank you to our audience for tuning in today, and I hope you enjoyed talking to Sharon as much as I did. And thank you to Verso Studios at the Westport Library for hosting. Namaste. Till next time. Bye-bye. Thank you.